Hello, welcome to a tag video. John Sandman Logan 5 started a tag. Top 5 valuable books bought off the rack, and he tagged me. So here I go. John and I pretty much about the same age, close enough, and we probably have very similar history of buying the same books off the rack. Of course, John started a few years earlier, but for me, I started in 1981. So, you know, let's start with the book that I regret not buying. You know, I can only think of one book that I regret not buying when I had a chance to buy it. I held that book in my hands, flipped through it, and decided not to buy it. That was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1. That's the only book that I can say that I let it pass through my hands. I have told this story before, but for those that missed that story, uh, as you know, it's the black covers. It's independent title, and by the time I saw that copy at my LCS, it was a lot of people has already went through it to browse through it. So there's all kind of thumbprint, creases, color breaking, spine break. It's at best was a very fine copy, and at that stage of my collecting life, I wanted near mint if I'm gonna buy something off the rack. So I flipped through it, and it's black and white. It was okay, but it was nothing that wowed me. So I put it back on the rack. Other than that, there's nothing that I would say that I regret not buying. I stopped buying book off the rack in 1994. So whatever happened after that, whatever hot book come after that, it doesn't matter. And I never had a chance to buy them because I was never in the store looking at them. So because of that, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1 is the only book that I regret passing on. But because I passed on that book a few years later, when another independent title came out, I make sure I did not miss that. So one of the I did not sit down and research how valuable these books are, in all honesty. So could there be other books that I bought off the rack that is still in my collection worth more than the 5 that I picked out? Maybe, but just for the sake of this video, the tick. Okay, after missing out on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1, and I heard about this book, I make sure that I got it. Is it worth a lot of money? I don't know. $50, $60, $80, I don't know. It's definitely a near mint plus condition, that's for sure. I never. It's an interesting character, but I think it was not fully developed and underutilized by the writers and the authors and the TV show. So who knows? I heard they're gonna kick back. They're gonna reboot the TV show. Does it matter? Who cares? But so the take one. Now, the other book that I picked out and I neglect to show, well, it doesn't matter, is this book. I think this book is worth something in good high grades, but this is my very first Spider-Man that I bought off the rack. I also told that story where, prior to seeing the Black Custom, I have not bought an issue ever of Spider-Man. And when this book came out and I saw this Black Custom, I'm just like, oh, that looked pretty cool. So that's my very first introduction to Spider-Man. As far as, valuable book, who knows how much that book is. Of course, follow up with this book. My copy of Bought Off the Rack is probably is a very fine plus copy. Okay, it's definitely not near mint. The problem with this book, as you all know, is the back cover. There's a because the back cover is not white. Even buying off the rack back then, there's a lot of creases and color breaking creases on the black spine. So and on the back cover. So yeah, even though it's my book off the rack, it was not super high grade. But as far as valuable, I say yes. Number 4 would be this book. Not super valuable, but being a 9698, it might fetch 100 something in a slab, right? At least 100, I'm guessing. Love. This is one of my favorite book off the rack as well. So I'm glad I did not give it away. And last on the top 5 is this book. I bought this. I was not a huge fan of Swamp Thing or even Alan Moore at that point of my collecting life, so I bought it. I bought quite a few of those issues, read it once, and put it in a box and forgot about it until a year and a half ago when I dug it out. One of those December Christmas video 2 Christmas ago, I dug it out and I was stunned that the book is still in 9.6-ish condition, especially when I didn't even bother to bag and board it. Yeah, they stay that high. So yes, this is the 5th. There was other books that was somewhat valuable that I bought off the rack. One is the Harbinger pink, the one where you had to cut out the coupon to mail in. I can't find that, but I think it's in a 9698 condition. It's probably worth something. And last but not least, even though it's not a comic book, it's this fanzine. Okay, this is probably in the 9.6-ish range. Hard to tell, if it could be 9.8, but at least 9.6, and this would fetch a couple, I think at least 100, if not more. So I cheated John. I put out 6 books, 6 things as far as most valuable, and as John already alluded to in his video, that I gave away a lot of my stuff. I practically gave away almost everything that I bought off the rack from 1989 to 1994, and part of that was my New Mutant 98. So I did buy a copy of that. I gave that away, or that would be the most valuable book that I bought off the rack. And that's it. That's my video. As far as tag, I should have wrote down how many people I should tag, but since I did not, hey, let me tag a new YouTuber that just started his channel. He watched many of my Wednesday night chat. His handle on YouTube is Jerzus73. Dan is his name. I will put a link below to his channel. I think he had 2 videos that he just put out this week for the first time. So hopefully he will have some interesting story to tell. He has a very large collection. I saw a lot of long boxes in his video of his collecting his room where he showed all his collections. So maybe he will have some interesting books to show as far as what is valuable that he bought off the rack. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.